Desirous of experiencing nature in its purest and natural form, where captivating fjords create paradise-like environments for marine creatures, why not visit Norway? In fact, the epic coastline stretching from the North Sea to the Barents is not just a beauty to behold, but offers an incredible rich marine ecosystem upon which the Norwegian seafood remains a trademark globally. Apart from oil and gas, the quality and variety of seafood exported from Norway earned the country 2.9 million tons of seafood at a value of 151.4 billion NOK in 2022. In fact, the Scandinavia country is the second largest exporter of seafood across the world. Achieving this feat is not just magical, but driven by a unique climatic condition which can only be described as unpredictable. The mystery in weather pattern is so amazing, such that in Lofoten and the northern part of the country, there is a common cliché of the condition being perfect for marine creatures than man. This simple but nature-vibrant village is known as Ustad, but as quiet as it might look, it is the heart of Norway's surfing scene. On this day, no surfing, but the pureness of the skies was the first attraction. Then, the contest between the sun and the cool, wet breeze, with the green grasses laying beneath the mountain, freshly recovering from the huge impact of the snow a fortnight.
Only days ago, darling, the mountains were covered with snow. So the spring is really unpredictable, as well as the weather during the year as well. The summers are mild. If we have over 20 degrees, it's really rare. The winters are actually quite nice. We have a coastal climate, and it makes the average temperature only 0. But of course, sometimes we have below 10 as well. It's an advantage to have real weather and to see the sky. Today it's a little bit overcasted, but to see the natural phenomena. A lot of people in the world are living in big cities, they can't even see the stars. Here we're really lucky, we have no light pollution. And of course the advantages of the land, Unstad is so windy, so it brings a lot of salt and minerals to the soil, so we grow a lot of nice grass and doing a lot of good farming. And of course we can use the nature in a different way than many other places in the world.
In June, for instance, waiting for the night to fall could be an effort in futility because it is the period of the year notable for the midnight sunsets.
The midnight sun is that when you pass 66 degrees 30 minutes north in latitude, you have passed where the sun will be up all night for around 2 months every year. So from the end of May to the end of July, you will have 24 hours of sun. And that's because we are so far north in the Arctic that you get 2 months of total light and 2 months in the wintertime of total darkness.
More surprising is the possibility of rain, snow, and dry wet wind contesting for dominance within the space of 24 hours.
It's hard to plan like ahead, even in one day. It's hard to plan because of the weather is so changeable. Like both the wind, both the snow and the rain and everything. Right now it's starting to rain, so it's hard to predict.
Although unpredictable for man, but perfect for marine creatures like the cod and other species used for the stockfish. This distinctiveness in climatic condition sets the stockfish and other seafood from Norway on a different pedestal away from any competitor.
What type of fish is used for stockfish, and also to clarify the facts, to confirm the fact that the fish cod, which is being used for stockfish, can never be grown in Nigeria, that is from very cold waters, and to confirm also that stockfish is produced in very, very cold weather.
From large numbers endlessly hanging on racks to few ones contesting for spaces on the walls of buildings, stockfish is a common sight in Norway, especially in the northern parts. Just few miles from Ostad is the foremost Norwegian company known as Lofothal AS. It is a family business with artifacts explicitly depicting long history of exporting stockfish and hares to Nigeria. To Paul Christensen, the chief executive officer, it is symbolic to sustaining friendship beyond trade. Here in Slova is a typical example of how the stockfish is dried under snowy weather, cool breeze, and temperate climatic condition, which is under 10 degrees Celsius. Arlen Sati is the managing director of Saga Fish, and despite being a major exporter of stockfish to Nigeria, improving standard while sustaining round-the-year availability of the commodity are the topmost priority.
We don't focus on being the biggest. We focus on having good quality, have regular customers, and try to improve. So it means we have done something correct, but we are always looking for improvement. So. Being the biggest is being responsible, and we want everybody to keep the quality and also for produce the product they want to be solid. So I think Norway has a good reputation, and we want to improve.
The quest for alternative both in quality and cost is changing the dynamics of the market, with some importers opting for stockfish from Iceland. But Arlen Sati insists if it is not from Norway, it can never taste like stockfish.
Icelandic head is dried inside, and it's a good product, but you don't get the same taste of it when you dry it outside. In Norway we dry everything outside, and when you see the weather outside, it's cold, it's snow, and it's around 0 degrees. So it means it's dry for a longer period, and also then you have the good flavor of it. So when I do my own stockfish, I do outside dried because of the flavor. So that's what Nigerian love, and also Norwegian people love. It's this special flavor.
There are historical facts to buttress this statement, as documentation on the Vikings expedition gave credence to the existence of stockfish in Norway more than 1,000 years ago. This site is believed to be a Viking settlement, enjoying the complement of the largest Viking longhouse ever discovered in Europe. It houses archaeological collections like the ancestral dress of the Vikings, sword grip and fishing tools, and right at the high seat of the Viking chieftain are stockfish, confirming over 1,000 years of spicing delicacies as seen here.
It's a significance because we know that this part of Norway also was very rich and had a lot of people even in those compared to what we knew before.
Beyond history are actualities of remarkable feats and successes achieved with the aid of the stockfish. In Bostad is a Lofoten food studio owned by an award-winning chef, and his dexterity in cooking cannot be questioned due to the expansive creativity exhibited in preparing 21 delicacies using Norwegian seafood in just one night. That Roy is passionate about cooking is an understatement. In fact, his blend mix and combination of various seafood found in the Norwegian waters are irresistible.
You know, I am from a fisherman's family, and we have always have fish in our family. We eat fish still. I think we eat 4 days in the week. And yeah, you know, preparing fish for other customers who's coming from all over the world, and for you it's yeah, I think sometimes I'm very proud to show what we have, because when the season for seafood is good, it tastes like sweet and good, and we have a lot of other stuff. You know, we have this stockfish and clipfish, and yeah, so we are producing and eating, and we are exporting. But we eat a lot by ourselves, you know. So, and it's very good to get the feedback and how you eat it and how you mix it with the plantain and the potato and all the stuff. So I think it's very, very funny. Now, what's special for the Norwegian seafood? You know, I think it's when the water is very, very cold, and you get a very nice structure, and the fish is coming in the season. It's very, very good. So when we have cod, we have saithe and all that, and it's been fishing when it's best, and then you can get the best ingredient. Even if you want to dry it or want to salt it or whatever you want. Anyway, the fish have to be a good product if you're gonna make another product of it. Anyway, so yeah. So how I see it, I think seafood. Yeah, we are known for seafood from many countries in the world, and our job is to still make progress to make the best food, because you know, of the environment we have, there's different temperatures, and this less snow, and sometimes rain too much, and it depends on the product we try to make, but it's very, very important to control it so we can get the best product out for our customers. If we don't, yeah, then it's not a success. So you have to catch it when it's best. And if you are Italian and you are from Africa or you are from Spain, or when they take their products and put to our products, we have prepared, yeah, I think it's kind of beautiful. And it's a make a kind of history, and it's a make a kind of good experience to know how we were making it. And, yeah, and it's very, very good to have you here because it's, you know, people are just people. And this, when you can sit together around the table and just have a good time, a good laugh, and get to know each other, yeah, I think it's magic. It's some peacetime around the table. We can eat and we share, and somebody like this, somebody like that, and they have different flavors, and yeah. I think that's my magic here in the evening when I have customers from all over the world, whatever they are from. But one thing I see, we are just people.
Through Roy's superb recipe and other notable initiatives driven around increasing the international worth of the stockfish, the Norwegian Seafood Council is winning the world for a cause it strongly believes in. Complementing these roles are regional seafood centers spread across the country, and the Lofoten Seafood Center provides real-life experience of how fishes from the cold Arctic Ocean are captured, dried, and sorted. There are tags specifying the destination of different stockfish. From Lofoten Island in Norway to Otto Market in Nigeria is a distance of more than 6,000 kilometers, but united by preference and love for a common commodity, which is the stockfish. For every 5 tons of stockfish produced, it is certain that Nigeria is the destination for less than 2 tons, thereby offering the largest markets. In sustaining these nexus beyond diplomatic interests, the Norwegian Minister of Foreign Affairs was at the Oyinbo market to see how much value stockfish is adding to the business chain in Nigeria.
It's amazing to be here at the stockfish market to see by my own eyes all the dry fish that was in Lofoten in Norway only some months ago, and now it's here and being sold on the Nigerian market. So it's amazing how the trade is developing between our two countries. So this is very important for the Nigerian people to get access to this kind of food. So it's very important also for the nutrition for the Nigerian people to get access to more cheap fish. It's very healthy to eat fish.
The Norwegian ambassador to Nigeria believes his country has been sustaining the long-term dialogue to improving trade, including making stockfish available for all segments of the society.
We are working with the Nigerian authorities on capacity building when it comes to food quality and improvement on all of that, both to help Nigeria for Nigerians, but also to help Nigerian be able to export and meet criteria also in the EU and overseas markets. So this is an ongoing effort that also both Norwegian government but also the Seafood Council is working very hard on doing.
While demonstrating the commitment to adding value to the local production of fishes found in the Nigerian waters to attain export status, Norway has constantly emphasized that a stockfish offers no competition for indigenous ones.
We prefer Norway product, and it's very essential. So we prefer it, and it's very affordable. But we are once again asking them to reduce prices so that you can reach the commoners everybody can be able to afford it and buy it. This stockfish, it has many nutritional value, and we Nigerians, we like it. We prefer this to Icelandic products. We engage in this stockfish business since it has been years ago. We engage in this stockfish business. Almost preferably since over 30 years ago. We have been 30 years or more. We are into this stockfish business, and it has been lucrative for us. It has been beneficial to us. In terms of relationship between Norway and Nigeria, we have experienced advantageous relationship between Norway and Nigeria because they are our major suppliers, and they produce the goods to us, and they give us both cash and credit. So we prefer their business. The Norwegian Seafood has been cooperative. They are cooperating with us in any way. Both information and data, anything we ask them to provide, they use to provide to us. They make importation easy for us.
Common customer demand is Norway more than Iceland products. So the demand for Norway is higher than the one from Iceland. Our advice for them is for them to be producing it more and lesser the price for us.
Because of the uniqueness, in Norway they process it naturally. It's dried under the cold weather, about 90 days before you can now harvest. So the taste is unique. It has more taste and more vitamins than the Iceland products. The business has created a lot of employment opportunities, like from offloading to loading, cutting it into pieces, to make it affordable for the end users. So a lot of people have gained employment opportunity, especially those people that work on it here, that cut it, the Hausas and some other tribes, even in and out of Nigeria. They've gained employment opportunities here because of the Norway fish. Now, people prefer it more than Iceland in the sense that the taste is different from that of Iceland because it's naturally preserved. There's nothing chemical in it. Stockfish is a unique fish. It's not found in our waterways here in Nigeria. So there's no possibility of it being rare or being processed here in Nigeria. It's fished. The only place you can get it in the whole wide world is Norway. You can't get it elsewhere. So that is why it's rare for you to get stockfish or to process it here in Nigeria, because we don't have the weather. Norway Seafood Council mostly is made up of the exporters there, which are the producers in Norway and the importers here in Nigeria. So they have mutual benefits and they have understanding with each other, and their relationship is cordial. We benefit some things from them as long as they're an importer, like discount they do and shipment to Nigeria. So all those things, they discount everything. They give us other benefits. They increase their production and they make the price affordable for us that will import it. So in Nigeria, I think in Nigeria, stockfish is a business that moves well and faster, because a lot of people eat the fish in Nigeria.
The Norway product is more proteinous, and it's healthy and calcium than Iceland, and it's so nice in the pot of soup. It's more tasty than Iceland. This product is very nice, and Nigerians love stockfish more than other things in Nigeria. I have bring more unique, more rapport with our neighboring country, that's Norway. So Nigeria prefer stockfish than any other fish of the uniqueness in Nigeria. No, it's very far. We have our climate condition, and no sea like a container like this, the fish here. So there's no way we can rear stockfish in Nigeria because of our weather. The importers should liaise with the Norwegian ambassador. Last time they came here, I spoke with the Norwegian ambassador. I told her that they should bring the price down for us because it's too high. Although it's based on dollar, let them bring the price high because the higher the price, the lesser the demand in Nigeria. This one is this Norway. This Norway, the body. This one is the head of the Norway also. This Iceland, and these are from Norway. This one is so much proteinous and calcium is in. This one is just ordinary, but you can reduce than this one. So this one is more proteinous.
Nigeria importers tend to understand these facts and are working in synergy with the Norwegian Seafood Council to promote availability and affordability.
We need to emphasize that not much is being sent down to Nigeria, and Nigeria is not the only place that stockfish is sent to. Goes to USA, goes to Italy, and when I mean USA, Italy, Croatia, is the citizen, is the bona fide citizen, the Americans, the white Americans, the Italians, the white Croatians, not the Nigerians there that it's in the menu. And here too in Norway is part of their cultural cuisine. Since we've been here, we've only been taking stockfish menu in one form or the other. However, yes, Nigeria takes all the eggs because the stockfish body is very expensive. Very, very expensive, and it attracts higher duty in Nigeria than the eggs. But right now, even the eggs is about the cheapest protein in Nigeria. The same gram of stockfish eggs and gram of egg, the gram of stockfish eggs is cheaper. And so, being the cheapest form of protein in Nigeria as of today, a lot of people have access to it. And because of that, Nigeria can leverage on making sure that through stockfish, Nigerian children are healthy, they don't get kwashiorkor, and we will also be able to exit World Health Organization's assertion that Nigerian children are the most malnourished children in the world. So we can gain a lot. It fetches higher duty. The eggs is 10%, whereas when you see animal feed, it's 5%. So if you keep to 10% and you make them have the resources to bring it in at the rate of a tax of 10%, government will make more revenue, and it's going to be through legal channels. Unlike if you say that it's 5%, animal feed is 5%, and then they go via Iceland and some other bad countries will buy their eggs and they falsify documents, you know, then Nigeria will be losing. But Norway, all their papers are legal. They will never say codfish eggs is animal feeds, and it comes there through cod eggs. But there are some countries now that are trying to leverage on illegality because of the law, and they still put in their form animal feeds. We don't agree with this. We believe that we have to do things the normal way.
Back in Norway, we sail on the Arctic Sea to see production and feeding processes of another fish popular with Nigerians, known as the salmon. The fish farm is one of the many operated by the Lofoten Seafood Center. Sindre Pedersen is a fish farmer, and he explained the feeding process.
This climate is very good for the salmon, the Arctic climate, but most of the reason why we can farm them like this is the Gulf Stream. You know, you have not only good temperatures coming in, like the water is warm here compared to what it would be without the Gulf Stream. Not only the temperature, but the stream also makes, what do you call it? there's a current, so that water is replaced over and over, which means better oxygen levels in the water. Among other things, of course, but that's like the two main reasons: oxygen level and temperature. Makes it ideal for salmon farming. In this farm here, we have feeding automats. We set them on a timer, you could say, and they feed what we tell them to feed. It's a on-off kind of thing. You can also adjust the speed of feeding, of course, but we have on our 3 other farms, we have feeding fleets. So it's a fleet, it's like a big boat that's permanently anchored right next to the farm here. They have big silos. They can have maybe around 300 tons of food, maybe more, depending on the type of fleet. And that food gets loaded by big boats, and we keep them in the silos, and we feed from land. We have a feeding central where one person, maybe 2, maybe 3, depends on the amount of farms you have, sits there, monitors the feeding from an underwater camera looking up, and an overwater camera looking at the surface level. In this industry, like salmon safety, like escaping, that's the worst thing that can happen. You know, that's the last thing you want. So we take every precaution we have to make sure that doesn't happen. This net is very secure. It's washed frequently and looked over. We have underwater robots like drones, so we inspect the inside and outside. There is already very strict regulations in Norway that everyone has to do, but most fish farmers, they do more to ensure, because of course it's bad for the environment to lose salmon, but also it's bad for economy. Like, it's bad business to lose product as well, so no one wants that to happen.
Fish production is a serious business in Norway, thanks to the ocean's current, and in Alezon is another manufacturer with 100 years of experience in the trade. Although the Congolese makayabo is mostly produced here, the company is equally expanding capacity to increase the exports of pelagic from Norway.
The vessels are coming in here to our dock, and pumping the mackerel in here through this hatch, and it's going to there, to this grading system you see behind me there. And then it's packed in 20 kilo cartons and going into the freezer. And we can produce around 70 to 80 tons per hour of whole round mackerel. We are now increasing our cold store capacity by around 13,000 tons. And this will help us to be more strong in the markets and also increase our freezing capacity. The Seafood Council is very important for Norwegian fish industry, to help us develop new markets and also increase in existing markets by doing the promotions and advertising and all these things that the fish industry needs.
Beyond using the seafood to win souls, there are other initiatives capitalizing on the indispensability of these rich protein sources to create business venture. Angelita and Tamara invented what could be described as the fifth taste, using blend mix of Norwegian stockfish and Japanese seaweed.
I'm born and grown up in a fishing family, and I've been used to working with the ocean and off the ocean from the age of 10. I was cutting the fish tongues, I was baiting the long lines, and I was actually stacking the stockfish on those pallets. But as I grew up, I never knew anything about seaweed. I was playing in it, just walking on the shores. But as an adult, not many years ago, 2015-16, I started researching about how to eat healthy, how to eat nutritious, and how to eat clean foods. So I discovered the world of seaweed, and I was blown away because no one had told me this. It's the most nutritious plant on the planet, the ocean superfood. Everyone thought I was absolutely crazy, and especially my dad, the fisherman. But I just read more and more, and I took courses, and I learned to harvest, and I walked the shores to discover what types of seaweed we'd had here in Lofoten. And I couldn't go back. I had to do something with this because seaweed is food for the future. Here in Norway, we have so many islands and fjords, and we have actually one of the longest coastlines in the world. And we don't utilize the seaweed we have growing here on our doorstep. So for me, this was an untapped resource. So we have a huge potential within aquaculture and harvesting of seaweed, and it has only just begun here in Norway. In aquaculture, seaweed farming is the biggest in the world. And here in Norway, we actually maybe believe it is salmon, but it's not. So we want to take seaweed, really to the next level and grow the industry in Norway. Seaweed is unique, and that's because we harvest it by hand in one of the strongest tidal currents in the world, which is just outside here. It's called Nappstraumen. Seaweed needs clean, fast-flowing, cold, nutritious water to grow, and that's exactly what we have up here in Norway. We live in a fridge, So it's such a good quality on our seaweed because it's still wild nature and not much pollution in this area. So the amazing quality that we have up here is so unique that some of the farms actually come to get mother plants. The amazing thing about our seaweed, it has such good quality that the farms are here to get their mother plants for the cultivation of seaweed. So only the best.
Based on its high dietary gains, Angelita and Tamara have expanded the scope of their business beyond the shores of Norway, emphasizing the need why seaweed should be added in any daily nutrition.
I mean, I'm half Japanese and Angelita is Norwegian. So, we're a Japanese-Norwegian fusion as company owners, but that's also shown through in our products. And we created a product that I grew up with called furikake. And in Japan, it's a sprinkle, which is used mainly on rice. And it's a combination of seaweed, dried fish and sesame seeds normally, but they have all sorts of different flavours in there. So when we first started the company, I said to Angelita, could we make a furikake? And she said, well, we've got dried fish, we've got stockfish. Why don't we combine that with the seaweed? And so we did. So we've created we call it Lofoten Umami, and it's a stockfish seaweed sprinkle with some sesame seeds in it as well. And it is a beautiful, colourful and tasty topping which can be used on top of rice. Seaweed is full of this fifth taste, which is called umami. And, umami is something that's also, for example, tomatoes, dried fish, stockfish, cheeses, old aged cheeses like Parmesan cheese is high in. And it's just that savoury flavour that when you have that flavour in your food, it kind of increases all the other flavours in your food, and it just leaves you with that taste of wanting a little bit more. Fit in terms of the health benefits is that it's the most nutrient dense plant on the planet, and that means it's got more vitamins and minerals in it than almost any other plant on this planet. So, it was well known, for example, back in the Viking days, that they ate seaweed because it was so high in vitamin C that it stopped them getting scurvy when they were out on their long boat journeys. But it's also really high in iodine, which means that you should also not eat too much of it, but you should try and get a little bit of seaweed in your diet every single day to get enough iodine into our daily diet. And I think it's a worldwide problem that people don't get enough iodine in their diets today. Well, we can harvest many different species, and that's a really a big difference with harvesting from the wild compared to farming seaweed, for example. And then we combine the seaweed with Norwegian sea salt to make different types of salts and seasonings to just sprinkle very easily on your food. Then we've been trying to make the products as easy to use as possible, and we've been exporting actually all around the world, not Nigeria yet, but we've been exporting to Europe, Japan, Malaysia, we're selling in the US, UK, so we're really hoping that that will only grow, and we do that by making really easy to use seaweed products.
Although seaweed is not actually qualified as seafood, but with the amendment of the Act establishing the Norwegian Seafood Council, Angelita and Tamara are hoping to use the vast network and marketing strength of the Council to propagate the cause they strongly believe in. Norway, no doubt, is capitalizing on its unique climatic condition to create an economy around seafood, and Atalezon is an Atlantic sea park that pictures in real life all the creatures found along the Norwegian coastline. With the complement of an exhibition center and outdoor playground, the aquarium grants people opportunity of connecting with the history of sea animals and observe them in real habitats.
Norway, we are very proud of our fish and seafood, and fish was actually our first export product. So it is very important for us to show people from the markets where we export our fish where the fish come from and show them the history. It's also important to show them every aspect of the origin of the fish, the people that produce the fish, the nature, which is very, very important, and also the sustainability. This museum is a very good museum, and it shows all the species that we export. So you can really see the live fish, how they swim around in our oceans before they end up in the export markets. We have invited people from the very important and biggest export markets we have in Africa. And it is very important to communicate the origin of this fish. Maybe people in the export markets, they are not really aware of the history and the background, the quality of this fish. And we really wanted to show the people and the consumers in these countries what the Norwegian seafood is actually all about. For us, it's important to be able to give a lot of information about the background, and naturally people don't know this, but the people that have come here to see the various species, talk to the people that produce the fish and fish the fish. Now a lot of that information has been passed on to the people that have been coming to Norway. I'm sure that the people that have come here will share the information and the knowledge that they have gained on this trip with people in these markets. And we hope to improve the market access even further in these countries. And we believe that knowing more about the seriousness and the quality of the Norwegian seafood, that will help that process. We all know that our stockfish is very well appreciated by the consumers in Nigeria. It has become a very important part of the Nigerian kitchen. But at the same time, we also know that there are some challenges with regards to the market access, and that means that these products, they became extremely expensive. And that's a challenge. This is not a luxury product. This is fish for ordinary people. So the price to the consumers can be lower and more people can afford it, and also people can maybe afford to eat it more often.
I hope that we have shown through what we've been through here, we have shown that we have dedicated people, we have dedicated sales forces, we have dedicated fisheries, and we have a sustainable food source for the people that wants to eat Norwegian seafood. So we can't do anything directly. So what we can do is show how the Norwegian seafood is produced and how we are exporting it and how the Nigerians buy it. And we just want to make sure that the government understand that the Norwegian seafood is a part of the Nigerian staple foods. It's hurting Nigerian consumers to not be able to get the seafood at a fair dollar exchange rate.
Although the stockfish is the major seafood exported to Nigeria, the Norwegian Seafood Council is nurturing this profound relationship created by its trade. This includes creating a systematic approach for business to be symbiotic while promoting the prospects inherent in some of its products, key in the heart of Nigerians. This business-friendly atmosphere created by both parties will definitely deliver many gains in the future.
We can have a wonderful aquaculture sector, meet all the EU regulations for processed fish export if we really put our mind and funds and training of officials and practitioners in Nigeria to eat. What we've seen, some of it, very simple technology, but sustainable production, sustainable factory, all meeting the EU standard, and very, very polite and helpful government officials. Helpful, trained, polite. These three words, we need to imbibe it in the Federal Civil Service and in all the parastatals and state civil service in Nigeria. Polite, trained, helpful government officials will definitely put Nigeria out of mono oil revenue, and we'll be able to move into fisheries production, aquaculture export, and we'll be able to exit the current ban on Nigeria's aquaculture being sold in international markets of EU, USA, Canada, and the likes.